Hey folks, this is Dave Gleason. I am head coach at Athletic Revolution in Pembroke, Massachusetts. Listen, when we talk about youth fitness training, a topic I think we need to talk about just a little bit anyway is repetitive motion injuries and maybe how to stay away from those. If you train young athletes, you'll quickly realize that one of the most important things you can do as their strength coach, for instance, or their youth fitness trainer, their personal trainer, whatever term you're using, is to keep them on the field or the court or, whatever craft or sport that they do. Keep them out there. If you keep them healthy, they're going to become better athletes and better at their individual sports. Repetitive motion injuries and things like tendonitis, how do we stay away from those things? Well, that's what I want to mention just briefly here. First of all, I want you to think about how the human body moves in general, right? We push, we pull, we change level, okay, we get up and down, we ambulate, we move back and forth, side to side, we twist, we bend and twist. So think about how the body moves. Think about the different planes of human movement, whether it's in the frontal plane, the sagittal plane, or the transverse, and how that relates to all the different categories that we just talked about. And then I want you to think about coming up with exercise programs that utilize something called repetition through variety. Now, it almost seems like an oxymoron, right? How could you possibly get repetition through variety? Well, if we back up just a little bit again and we think about how the body moves, what types of movements we perform, and the different planes of movement that we move through, that will clue you in on how we can better take a look at that. Let's take a look at an up and down movement where we have extension, if you will, from the hip, knee, and ankle. A squat, okay? Now, to stay away from repetitive motion injuries with the squat or to get that triple extension, how many different ways can you think of to produce an up and down squatting movement in the 3 different planes, okay, or at least in 2? Okay, let's go through a few. We can do a squat, whether it's a front squat or a back squat. We can do a lunge walk, a lateral lunge, a back lunge. We could use something like a valve slide and do sliding lunges. We could do a lunge forward with rotation to the leg that's in front. We could do a back lunge with rotation to the front. We could add rotation to the open side, okay, or contralateral to the front leg. There's a whole bunch already just right there, okay? That's without adding in things like more explosive movements, whether it's a jump squat or box jumps or whatever. Okay, there's such a host of different activities that you could put a young athlete through just for that one movement. Now layer that for every other movement that you can think of, okay? Repetition through variety. Now, traditional coaching models or periodization models might suggest that, in order to have progression, you have to stick with the same lift or the same movement and show those numbers, show those values. 3 sets of 10, then we move up to 3 sets of 12, 3 sets of 15. That does not have to be the case, and in fact, with young athletes, a linear model does not work because those athletes are developing, meaning they're changing literally day by day by day. So give the kids as much of a multi-dimensional approach as you possibly can through repetition, through variety. As many different looks as you can. You will absolutely stay away from repetitive motion injuries, and you will have better athletes and better athletes. That's all we need to say, isn't it? All right, hey, thanks for listening. I'm going to let you go. Please check in again and listen to some of more of our videos here. And if you get a chance, go to the iyca.org website. That's where I learned all this. If you want to know how to really train kids very, very, very effectively, from the science behind the programming to the art of coaching, look no further than iyca.org. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.